Welcome back to Every Effect Explained in Adobe Premiere. Today we're beginning on the Film Impact Transitions. So to get this window, just go to Window, Extensions, Film Impact Dashboard, and under the transitions, you can see these preview animations, and you'll notice a lot of these are set with graphics or text. That's what a lot of these are going to work well on, but I'm going to show you a few different examples. All of these are also still available in the traditional effects panel under the video transitions, and you can see there's a legacy folder now with the old video transitions, which you can still access for now. So you still have two different ways to apply these. You can just drag them from the effects folder, which actually I kind of prefer because you can put them right in between or where you want. Or if you want, you can highlight two or one clip and press apply. Now, once you've actually applied an effect, which, like I said, I like this on text, you still have that piece of transition tape, which you can still expand to make it shorter or faster. And if you highlight that piece of transition tape like so and head over to the effect controls, here's where you're going to get access to all of the parameters of all of these effects. So there's some new things here that weren't in the traditional one, specifically this curve graph and a couple of these buttons, which I'll explain, and they're the same for most of these effects. So as you can see, this default curve graph is called overshoot. So it's going to start at a normal amount. It's going to go past the default point a little bit. That's this bump. It's going to bounce back a little bit and gently fall into place. So if I play that, this is what you get. And you have a few different types that you can choose from. So bounce, just as it appears, like bounce, bounce. You can see if I play that, it bounces into place twice. If I make it a little faster, it might be easier to see. And Bezier, which is just your typical, almost linear curve. Now, these are just the default amounts, but you can adjust the amount of bounces and also the initial velocity, the elasticity, so how much it bounces back up each time. So if I do several bounces like this, you'll really see the effect. And just because you are doing the Bezier type doesn't mean that you still can't get some more velocity. So you can do ease in and ease out and just still get like some velocity where it slowly starts, it quickly goes into place, and then it slowly gradually sets. So also, if you don't want the transition to start completely at 0% and end at 100, there is no reason you can't start, let's say, already a certain amount in and only fall into place for the remaining amount. But as we go through each of these effects, each of them is going to have all of these parameters and a couple more. So for the block motion, we can do the angle. So instead of coming in straight down, we can have a block motion in at an angle, which can look cool. We can reverse that angle. So coming from the underside, we can add a certain amount of rotations. So this time it'll spin 3 times, more like a slot machine or something. You can also keyframe these. So if for some reason you wanted it to start at a certain angle and then end totally spun around, I guess there's no reason you couldn't do that as well. There's also the motion blur. So that's how we're getting that motion blur look here. And the more you increase it, the more motion blur you can get. And don't forget, if you ever like some of these customizations that you've made on a clip, that you can right click that block motion and save it as a specific preset. So we can do this block motion spin version. And then that'll always be in your preset folder, which I do sell some presets on my website, but I'm working on some new ones for these film impact ones. So check out justinodisho.com/shop for those. Last but not least, there's also this fun new surprise me button. So all of that adjustment that we just did, if you just click surprise me, it'll just throw a bunch of random adjustments for all the parameters. And you can get some pretty crazy results. Sometimes they look pretty good and usable, but I also like to use it like if you're just getting familiar with what these effects do. If you just click surprise me a bunch of times and see what kind of different results you get and see what the parameters are, it lets you see the possibility and sort of the flexibility that can be achieved within that effect. So the same way you can transition in, you can also transition out of the clip if you apply the transition at the end. And we'll quickly work through what else is available in this animation folder now. So there's the flip motion. This is, all of these are pretty self-explanatory, but they basically all have within them these same effect controls that I just explained, and pretty much everything is similar there. One cool one, you'll see this fold motion one works well with video clips because there's no black bars. Whenever it says insufficient media there, that just means we're at the end of the clip. So if it needs to, it'll repeat the final frames. It's not an error, it's just normal. So if you weren't at the end of the clips, for example, it wouldn't show like that, and it also wouldn't have those transparent lines. But the fold motion is pretty cool. It has, and again, you'll notice all of those familiar effects that I just looked at, but some cool surprise me's. You don't just have to have a straight half up and down fold. You can fold from different directions. You can do multiple page flip sort of things. The other thing I haven't covered yet is this seed. This is kind of like a random number seed. And instead of hitting the surprise me button, you can always just kind of scroll through the different seeds and get a different possibility or a different result. Also, just for example, these also work on graphic layers or logos. So here's pop motion. It sort of pops in, has that little bounce to it if you want. But again, you can just change it to be non-bouncy. And you start to get the idea with this animation folder. We don't have to do all of these scale keyframes and speed ramping or curving by hand. We just have all of these different easy options that we can just drag and drop, get the sort of graphic and text animations that look sleek. There's also pull motion. This kind of fades in, kind of like a focus pull. There's spin motion. I mean, all of these are pretty self-explanatory, but again, you have all of those parameters in the effect controls when you highlight the transition tape. And let's say we don't want multiple spins. We can choose how much angle we do. So only 150 degrees, possibly. We can do the full 360, so 1x cycle, you'll see. And that'll do one full cycle from the beginning to the end of the transition, and also spin out. So if you don't like that little bounce or that little overshoot, again, you can get rid of those in the visual curve graph editor. Sometimes I find that those can look a little too factory preset. We've also got spring motion. This one I guess we should show with a lot of bounces. So spring motion. And finally, travel motion. So this one just travels from a certain direction. It's coming from the bottom right now, but as you go into the effect controls, you can choose the angle that it comes in. So 90 degrees, you even see the arrow. It's going to come from left to right. And if you ever want to get back to that dashboard, once you have it open, you can click this double arrow, Film Impact Dashboard. So those are the 8 effects in the Film Impact animation transitions. In the next episode, we're going to check into the dissolve section, which has a lot more video effects, not just graphics. So click on the end card to head to the next episode. My name is Justin Odisho. You can check out the full Every Effect playlist. We're working straight down the list, and I'll see you in the next one.